Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre, the woman who'd accused him of sexual assault, have reached an out-of-court settlement in a civil case filed in New York. He'd previously said he wanted to contest the claims in front of a jury. There is no admission of liability by the Duke, who's always maintained his innocence. But in the agreement, he accepts Ms Giuffre has suffered as a victim of abuse. He's also pledged to demonstrate his regret for his association with the convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein by supporting the fight against the evils of sex trafficking and by supporting its victims. The Duke of York is to make a substantial donation to Ms Giuffre's charity supporting victims' rights. With more on the settlement, here's our royal correspondent, Nicholas Witchell.
For all the show of public defiance that he was determined to fight the case in court, it was always thought by lawyers and others that he would have to settle out of court, and that's exactly what Andrew has now done. Without, importantly for him, any admission of liability, but with the promise of a substantial donation to Virginia Giuffre's charity in support of victims' rights. A statement filed to the civil court in New York says, Prince Andrew has never intended to malign Ms Giuffre's character, and he accepts that she has suffered both as an established victim of abuse and as a result of unfair public attacks. It's known that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked countless young girls over many years. Prince Andrew regrets his association with Epstein and commends the bravery of Ms Giuffre and other survivors in standing up for themselves and others. Today's statement contrasts sharply with Andrew's Newsnight interview when he expressed no sympathy for Epstein's victims and said he had no regrets about his friendship with Epstein.
Do you regret the whole friendship with Epstein?
Now, still not, and the reason being is that the people that I met and the opportunities that I was given to learn, either by him or because of him, were actually very useful.
Legal observers say Andrew really had little choice but to settle.
Out-of-court settlements, as we know, are most often used to try and keep things private, to try and avoid any admissions of guilt. And this is not an admission of guilt, but it is something. He has given her something in this wording. So he said that he acknowledges that Virginia Giuffre is an established victim of sexual abuse.
Buckingham Palace has offered no comment, but one thing is certain: this out-of-court settlement will be a huge relief to the royal family. The prospect of a court case hanging over the Queen's Platinum Jubilee was not one they relished, to put it mildly.
I think for the royal family, this was really the only decision that Prince Andrew could have taken. This will save months of embarrassing revelations coming out and spoiling the Queen's Platinum Jubilee year.
Quite what Andrew's future is now is unclear. In today's statement, he says he will work to support the fight against the evils of sex trafficking. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News.